right, guys, what's up? Back here with Cordell. I want to pick his brain. I want to talk about sugar. Why sugar, you may ask, is because the more I'm reading, the more I'm learning, the more I'm realizing like sugar is probably the number one cause of health issues, obesity, overweight, people dying early.
Right.
Would you agree with that? You think there's something else?
Yeah, I think that's still the top seed, we'll say still. I think, you're hearing a lot about seed oils now too.
That's the other one that comes to mind.
The second thing, and that's still so new. And you ask a lot of dietitians now, or even doctors or people in the industry about seed oils, and they're like, I have people I work with that are dietitians, they'll say seed oils are fine,
Oh, really?
But the sugar, like you said, that's something we want to avoid still. So
that's interesting.
The sugar's, out there open to where, it does cause a lot of health issues, and people do want to reduce their sugar. And you talk to physicians and professionals, they'll say, hey, your sugar intake, how's that? Now, the fats and the cooking oils, that's still kind of, in the health industry, regarding like the actual professionals, quote unquote, I'd say that's the second thing, but it's still so new that it's not really out there. But the sugar for sure.
Yeah. And the more I've been reading, the more I've been learning, the more I realize. So a couple of little stats for you. We used to consume 6 grams of added sugar per week. Now have a guess how much we have per day.
Yeah.
What do you think it is per day now for the average American?
Man, maybe 40 daily.
It's 22 grams of sugar per day.
Daily, yeah.
And that's added sugar to our foods.
Right.
And
so not total.
Yeah, not total. That's the average, right?
Yeah.
So, and the more I've kind of been aware of this, the more I've been looking at ingredients, looking at things, and there's sugar added to absolutely everything.
Yep.
And something I think it's okay, I look at the sugar, I was like, oh my God, this has got 7 grams of sugar per serving, and I'm about to have 3 servings.
Right.
And that's your whole daily. That's beyond like what you're even supposed to do. Like they're saying you should have like 6 grams a day, and I don't think you should have 80 if you can help it.
Right.
I'm sure you probably agree with that.
Yeah. And so with that being said, you're probably saying they're probably adding sugar to sugar then. Things that have sugar naturally, probably adding more sugar to as well, like juices, for instance.
Well, I had a question for you. You've got on the back of the label, you've got sugar and you've got added sugar.
Right.
What is the difference? Is that sugar being added to a product already got sugar in it, or what is it exactly?
That's exactly what it is, and people don't really think about that because they think, okay, well, juice, for instance, has natural sugar, so the sugar here is what the actual fruit juice contains, but they're actually adding sugar to the
on
juice.
top of the sugar inside.
To help,
because we were just looking at cranberry juice,
right?
And it had X amount of sugar in one with no added sugar. Right. Then the other one had low amount of sugar, but then had a lot more added sugar.
Right.
And that's what you're getting at, right? You got sugar in the fruit, then you also got added sugar to make it sweeter and more addictive.
That's the thing. It's more palatable. You enjoy. You do a blind taste test with regular raw cranberry juice and then ocean spray cranberry juice, and they'll be like, "What the heck's this?" You have the regular raw cranberry juice with natural sugar. It tastes, bitter, tart, and very hint of sweet.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I think we're used to the sugar, and like I said, it's an additive to help people want it and crave it more. So it's going to be added to everything, even adding sugar to sugar, for instance.
Something I've learned too, it's a lot cheaper to add sugar to a product than it is to add like good fat or oil.
Unfortunately.
Super crazy, right?
Yeah,
so like I saw it was literally it was a diet, like a food scientist that creates the foods.
Right.
And she's saying, it was in New Zealand actually, she's saying it's cheaper to add more sugar to a product to create more, make it more.
Maybe the volume too?
Yeah, the volume of the product opposed to adding anything else.
Right.
So it's not just make it more unhealthy, it's making it more addictive. It's cheaper. It's kind of scary. It's honestly, it's very scary. Yeah.
This country only probably. It's just, I don't think it's a world, you think it's a worldwide thing, or think more so this country?
No, I definitely think America's leading the way, but I think like Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Mexico, I feel like we're right on par. I just feel like the thing is, like, the more I read, the more I learn in America, like the food, nobody cares. There's zero care about someone's health.
Right.
It's like, how do we sell more products and what is it going to take? And if we need to keep this this rule like suppressed, we've got the money, we've got the ability to suppress that rule to continue doing what we want to do.
Exactly.
And that's the scary bit.
Yeah.
And I don't know how you ever stop that or change that. And there's a thing like, I think diabetic or pre-diabetic is 60% of the population now.
Yeah. So it's definitely,
how scary is that?
It's increasing now, and I'm not sure if people are aware of that at all, but it's still rising still as well.
Yeah, it's all rising. None of it's slowing down. It's speeding up.
So, and that's even the juvenile diabetes and juvenile, just health issues for kids. That's right.
1 in 3 kids by the age of 20 are going to have diabetes.
Yeah.
Type 2 diabetic.
So it's like, what can we do about that?
So I guess what I'm getting at is like just how prevalent sugar is and how it is. So it goes back, I think it was the 80s. It was like the whole low fat thing, right? Oh, fat's bad for you.
Right.
So what I'm learning, what I'm reading is like, oh, they decided that fat was something bad for you. Fat was what's making us fat. Fat was what's making us unhealthy. So they took the fat out of the products and they realized all the products tasted like cardboard.
Yeah.
So nobody liked the products once they took the fat out. So how they fix it?
Yeah.
They added sugar.
Yeah. Sweet.
And what they realized, the more sugar they added, the better they tasted, the more addictive it became, the more product they sold.
Faster it sold, yeah.
So why would you ever stop?
Yep.
From a business point of view, it makes sense. Yeah. And as a business guy, I always try to put myself in both shoes. If I was a business guy, what would I do?
Right, smart.
But there's also got to be a point of like moral value.
Yeah, that too.
And this book I read, which was Salt, Sugar, Fat, it was all the CEOs, all the food designers, all the people that made these products end up either quitting their job, refusing to eat the food themselves, or not feeding it to their families.
Oh, interesting.
What's that telling you?
Interesting, yeah.
They created this addictive, amazing product, but they're not eating it themselves.
How do you sleep at night? Yeah, that's the thing about it. Yeah, that lets you know that the big picture is the money.
Super scary, right? And I like what you said. Like you talk about, like when you have a piece of fruit, you have the sugar, the natural sugars, but you also have the fiber. And the fiber stops the insulin from spiking as hard, correct?
Yeah, the vitamins, minerals, the fiber, some prebiotic fiber. That's the thing about it. And I guess on a side note, but still correlates with what you're saying, is a lot of things that are like natural fruit juices, they have to be, well, from a business standpoint, they have to be actually saturated and preserved to where they can actually be a longer shelf life and actually taste better and be more marketable to everybody to actually be able to afford and buy. When you have a natural juice, it might taste very, very, very good, quote unquote, to somebody, but the half-life, the shelf life might be 5 or 6 days.
That's a huge point, right?
Where you see, if that, where you see something else, like what's another regular juice? Like maybe I'm not sure. I do my juice, I press my juice, but another main brand of juice, we don't need to say names at all, but any kind of regular juice you buy from like Walmart or Target will say like it's good for like 6-7 months. And how's this raw? That's raw.
Whereas your cold pressed juice from like your whole food markets is like 1 or 2 days, right? Yeah. Tops.
You want to have it. That's the thing about it. When you have fruit, once you actually open up an orange or a lemon, the actual the quality and the value of the nutrients drops down within hours. So you're getting little to no nutrients out of orange juice that from a shelf, from something bought on the shelf. And the fact of the matter is too, that it's going to go bad. So you have to use heat to actually break everything down. And you have to actually have the sugar to preserve everything and all the other things, additives to actually have the shelf life. So when you actually have juice on the shelf, you're literally having sugar. The sugar from the actual fruit itself is already cooked off, and they're adding more sugar. And they're adding more preservatives.
To make it
and they're adding the flavor of
I never thought about that. The shelf life is huge, right?
It's got to be refrigerated still, but the shelf life is like 8-9 months sometimes, or maybe even a year sometimes what you're buying. It's
that's honestly, that could be a good rule on eating well is
shelf lives.
Shelf life. If this thing lasts more than 3 days or 4 days, you probably shouldn't be eating it, right?
That's a key word,
Because then it comes to box, packaging, salt added, sugars added, preservatives added. Yeah. But that doesn't happen to a steak.
The marketing is like people
a piece of broccoli.
See the convenience factor. Oh, this is good for a whole 2 weeks. I don't have to worry about it. You can put it in the refrigerator, eat it next week. It's like, but don't think about the factor. Well, why is it good for so long?
Why is it good? Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. I remember even cutting an apple when I was a kid. I used to go brown. Did you remember those days?
Yeah. And
when's the last time you saw an apple turn brown?
That's you. Yeah.
Doesn't happen anymore, does it?
Not as much, yeah. Very rare. That's the thing about it. Once you open any kind of actually whole food, even like raw meat, once you take it out, it goes bad. You got to eat it immediately. Fruit, you got to eat immediately if you want the benefits of it. So how can we make these fruits and vegetables be healthy, but have our pockets be filled too as well? We have to figure a way to saturate this, by
That's pretty crazy. So like we always talk about like checking the food labels, checking the ingredients being the first thing.
Right.
But I'm really starting to like go straight to the sugar on a lot of things too.
You'll be probably blown away from everything being added sugar.
It's absolutely nuts. Like you get like a granola, like a healthy granola, and it's got more sugar than the
just raw granola, right?
Yeah, like it's got more sugar in it than like the bad cereals that we talk about.
It's wild.
It's crazy. It's like I got a granola and it had 17 grams of sugar per serving, and if I was to have it, I would have been having 3 or 4 servings in one. It's like 60 grams of sugar, just like that, in granola, in muesli.
Yeah, and so we're used to the taste of it too, because we don't realize that because those popular places like the smoothie acai bowl places you go to, you get a acai bowl, they put the granola in it, they put the acai berry, they put the berries in it, and you don't realize, and they put the honey or agave on it. So you've got it's healthy, but you got a bowl full of sugar.
You got a healthy sugar bowl.
Yeah, it's like you break down the macros, and you're like, man, I had 80 grams of sugar. How the heck did I do that? You know,
and that's just blown out. Yeah. Oh my God, that's insane. Just to finish off with on sugar, what are we looking for from your point of view? Like, how do we?
Yeah, I think the key word is, like you said, added sugar.
That's the main one,
because
you say.
a lot of labels will say added sugar, and a lot of us, we don't think about that part. We just look at the sugar, you know. But if you're looking at things that have added sugar and you want something that's more on the healthier side, you want to avoid added sugar. If it doesn't have added sugar, usually it's typically going to be more whole food based.
Okay.
And lower in sugar, obviously, too.
So that's the better way. Yeah. And then also, like, kind of like going back to the serving sizes, right?
Oh, precisely.
We cannot stress the serving sizes enough. You've got a product, it's got X amount of sugar per serving, but you got to figure out how many servings am I having.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't think I know a product where I have a single serving. Do you know of a product?
Yeah, I was thinking even the small bottles that look like 1 serving, they could be 2 servings, 3 servings. There's bottles that look like a serving size.
Even like a can of Coke, I think it's like 2 servings. Like who drinks like half a can of Coke?
And they know you're not going to drink 1 serving, so they got you with that. They're going to drink the whole
it's literally like, it's in the book I read, it's like they used to say, okay, it's got X amount of calories, X amount of sugar in the serving, which is the whole product. Right. But then they realized if they can like cut the serving sizes in half or in thirds, then we can show the lower number. Therefore, people assume it's better, which we do, and I do, and I'm sure you do, until you understand that there's more than 1 serving in this product.
Gatorade is one you brought up before. How that's
what was it? 2.5 servings?
2.5,
yeah, 2.5 servings.
And it's a regular bottle.
In a regular bottle of Gatorade.
Yeah, and can you give your kid it? They drink it on the way home.
So it was 42 grams of sugar in a Gatorade, but they were advertising it like 2.5 times less than that.
16, 18, yeah.
16, 18 grams, which is still insane. And that's still not good. But then all of a sudden, like timesing it by 2.5.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's crazy.
That's just the one product, not including the whole entire day of kids.
Exactly. So. And it's a liquid too. You're not even eating it, so it's not even keeping you full.
No benefit.
So guys, sugar. Be aware of the sugar in your content. Like Cordell said, the added sugar that's in the content. And just remember, sugar is what's causing tumors. A cancer feeds off sugar.
Oh yeah.
Literally, cancers grow from sugar.
Literally.
Diabetes is caused by excess sugar.
Literally.
Heart disease is caused by excess sugar.
Fatty liver,
Obesity is caused by excess sugar. You will die earlier and you will die quicker and you'll lose the quality of your life by having too much sugar.
Excess.
It's as simple as that. And just to finish off, my first recommendation would be to cut soda completely. Yeah. Soda is the #1 cause of obesity in this country. It's empty calories. You drink it. There's no satiation with it. The more you have, the more you want.
Yeah.
Cut sugar out, your life will change, and then start
first step.
1 variable at a time.
Oh yeah. Exactly.
See you guys.